Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Yeah, this video will be a rather short one. I just want to check in with you guys to show you something. Yeah, as you can see, I won this game on Nomad, and now finally I'm on rank 9571 according to the statistic. And that's pretty awesome, because I had two long-time goals. The first one was getting to 1200 elo. And the second one was getting amongst the top 10,000 players in 1 versus 1. And yeah, that took me another 30 elo points. But now I've basically cracked the top 10,000 and I'm at rank 9,571. Which isn't too impressive, I know. It's not that impressive maybe. But for me it's kind of nice, and I've reached the goal here and I'm pretty happy with that. And anything else that I will achieve above reaching 1200 elo and being top 10,000, everything else that I will do above this is just extra for me. Sorry, I had to make a small cut here because I actually got a little bit of a cold and I was coughing. Yeah, that was one thing that I wanted to show to you. And then the second one, which is more actually like the motivation behind this video. Please don't be like this guy. I just want to show this guy as an active example. And not because he did a pretty weak boom on water or that he wasn't fighting too much on water. Also not because his boom wasn't too good and he was only on 2 TCs while I was actually on 4 or no 5 TCs even. But that's not the point, because everyone has their strengths and their weaknesses. And maybe this guy, he isn't just he just isn't as good on Nomad as he is on Arabia or other maps. So that's not the point. But the point is actually the discussion that we had after the game. That was actually kind of sad, I must say. I can read this to you if you want to. So basically, this guy was resigning, and I was writing GG, which is like normal, I guess. Yeah, and then this guy was like, pay to win nation, bro, not GG, sorry. And I was laughing. And he's like, I have not Roman, because I was playing Romance and he was playing Spanish. And he's like, oh, I can't play Romance because I don't have Romance as a silver variable. And then I tried to argue with this guy, like, dude, Spanish dominate. You're just salty, that is said, like really. And then he's like, castle trap is not fair. And I'm like, what are castle traps? Because there are no castle traps in the game. He probably meant my Roman Scorpions. But I mean, they're not that good. They're really good actually. And we don't cost a lot of gold, but it's not like there is no counter, you know? Like having 2 mangonels and my Scorpion push is basically completely senseless. And when I try to argue with this guy, like, you even have cannons and 10 cannons, this is actually a good matchup for you. And he says, not in castle. And when I also say, yeah, but you have better navy as Spanish, which is also true. And he's like, yeah, I don't have this in Castle Age. And I'm like, yeah, me neither. I only have traps in Imperial Age. Dude, that is sad. And yeah, then he's still like, still pay to win, sorry. And yeah, I was just basically suggesting this dude to play again. We can play again with another Civ or even go random. And he didn't answer to this anymore. And to me, that's just sad. It's just really sad behavior. I mean, if the matchup had been close, I wouldn't have said anything. Like, if it was like Goths versus Romans, and he was complaining like, oh, you only won because you have a better Civ. I can understand this, because Goths versus Romans is actually a really good matchup for the Roman player. So I could understand it, and especially if the game was close, I could very understand this, that he is a little bit salty or angry about the Civ matchup. It's completely fine by me. But the thing is, the Spanish are gunpowder civilization, and I as Romans, I am an infantry civilization. And theoretically, if he just makes hand cannons and bombard cannons, he can perfectly counter my Scorpions and perfectly counter my Legionary or anything else that I can send in. And if I go cavalry, he also has Halberdier. So actually, Spanish versus Romans is a matchup which is rather good for the Spanish than for the Roman player, especially in late game. And yeah, the Roman economy is a little bit better because I get a 5% boost to everything, but I mean, it's 5%. Like that's not so much. And in late game, I think that it's very hard to actually counter Spanish when you're playing as Romans. And also the Spanish have the Conquistador, which is probably the best unique unit in the whole game. In Castle Age at least, in Imperial Age it might be like the Mangudai probably. But in Castle Age, the Romans, they basically have like the best unique unit, and he's still complaining. And the funny thing about this is that actually in 2022, the Spanish, they were completely dominating on Nomad, because the Spanish, they had a win rate of around 60%, and that in a game that actually tries to be perfectly balanced. So 60% is extremely high, like even 54 or 55% win rate, that's extremely high. And the Spanish, we had a 60% win rate in 2022, and we needed to receive 2 buffs in order to fix that, because of that. And the 2 buffs were that the Conquistadors, we lost 1 Pierce Armor in Castle Age, and then we have again 2 Pierce Armor as Elite Conquistador. And the second buff was that the first town center is not built 30% faster, because then you have basically like a 2 villager heads up on all the other players. So this nation, the Spanish, it's so good actually, but it had to be nerfed 2 times in order to be fair on Nomad. And this guy is like complaining, like, oh, I got the Spanish versus Romans. That's completely unfair. You just won because it's pay to win. I mean, even arguing in this matchup that Spanish is a bad civilization, that's sad. But let me just show you the statistics, and then you might actually realize why this is so sad what he did. I basically completely dominated this guy. As you can see, I was killing much more units than he did, and I even made a couple of mistakes, so I wasn't even playing at 100% of my potential. But if you look at this, military-wise, completely dominating this guy. Economy even more, with much more food collected, more gold collected, much more stone collected. I went to Imperial Age much faster. I had 3 relics, I had 4 castles, he only had 1 castle, he had 0 relics. And I had 132 villagers, while he is having 74 villagers only. And also if you look at the timeline, it's not even close. It's not even a close game. And that although Spanish is a very decent civ on Nomad. Like if you play 4 versus 4, it's almost guaranteed that someone will pick Spanish because we want to play Spanish on Nomad. Yeah, it's not like a civ you would only play if you play by random, but Spanish is actually a civilization that is strongly sought after on Nomad. It's one of the all-time favorite civs on Nomad. And yeah, when this dude is playing Romans versus Spanish and he's complaining all the time, like, oh, this is an unfair matchup and I can't do anything as Spanish and so on and so on. And yeah, of course, I know that my Scorpions are really good. But you know what? If you come as Spanish, you give me a castle drop, and I had my both TCs over here. If you put a castle here and you make like 3-4 conquistadors, even though I had much more eco on water, just 3-4 conquistadors, and I would have had some severe trouble. Because I couldn't afford my farms, I would have been much slower. Maybe you could have killed some villagers, like just some castle age play with conquistadors, and I'm really into trouble here. And as I said, even if he doesn't want to do this, he just wants to play Imperial Age, it's also perfectly fine. He just makes some cannons, some hand cannoneers, or some conquistadors. And I don't see the Roman here being even the better civ. I think if I was playing versus myself, and I was playing Spanish in one case and Romans in the other case, I think with Spanish I would win more games versus myself than I would win as Romans, or for Romans are also very decent civ. So, yeah. I don't want to stretch this out any further. I mean, it's kind of obvious what I want to criticize here. But just look at the score. It's 8,500 to 4,500. It's not even close. It's not even close. I mean, of course, there are unfair matchups like Goths versus Mayans or Goths versus Britons in late game. I mean, it's kind of obvious that these matchups are not good for you. But this was a perfectly decent matchup. And if you're getting completely dominated, and when you're still starting shit like, ooh, this is out civ, the civ is much better, you just won because we are the better civ. That's just sad. It's just sad. I mean, why can't people realize in such a situation that we simply have played worse than the other person played better, and that's why the person won? I mean, it's kind of sad if you can't even credit a win to the other player because you're that salty. That's just really, really sad. And the thing is, at the end of Dark Age, I was at like 1300 score and he was at 800 score. So even after 10 minutes in the game, I could clearly tell that this would be a completely dominated game for me and I would easily win this. So if you come along like, oh, you just won because you're playing the Romans, sorry, no GG to you. It's just sad. It's just sad in my opinion. Okay. Yeah, so that's basically everything I wanted to show to you guys. So yeah, it's going well. I'm doing my stuff here on Nomad. And yeah, maybe with some coaching from Erich Müller or Botkin Arrow, I don't know, maybe those two will coach me a little bit. I might even get to 1300, so if you're interested in seeing that and seeing some advanced gameplay, some 1300 gameplay on my channel, yeah, you can check out my channel and you can subscribe to me. Next Saturday, which is in 2 days, I should be playing with Dawnrim again, and we are doing 2 vs 2 again on the ranked ladder, and Dawnrim is also around 1200 to 1250 elo, so he is a very decent and competent player. And yeah, if you want to see some 2 vs 2s, you can check out my channel. I already uploaded like a couple of videos, like 5 or 10 videos with Dawnrim, I think, something like that. Yeah, you can check out my channel. We already played some games, and if you want to see games like that in the future, you can subscribe to our channel. Yeah, and that having said, it would be nice to get a thumbs up from you guys. It would be even nicer to get a comment from you, because I would like to know what you think about the situation. Yeah, and that having been said, I think I'll make a cut here, because Olivier already contacted me like 10 minutes ago, and he wanted to play with me, and I was like, please give me a good 10 or 15 minutes so I can finish this and then we can play together. Yeah, I think I have to finish this to play with Olivier now. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for checking in on my progress as well. And also, thanks for your attention. And yeah, well, see you soon, guys, and take care.